Taoiseach, the Citizens' Assembly on Biodiversity heard this weekend that Ireland is not losing its biodiversity, it's hemorrhaging its biodiversity. And an expert told the group there that we are one of the most nature-depleted countries on the planet. And if you cross Ireland, if anyone cross Ireland, they can see everywhere Sitka plantations and biodiversity deserts, which is basically our hedgerows which have been wiped out and should be a refuge for biodiversity. We've also learned from the EPA that our rivers and oceans continue to have poor quality, and this is a direct result of the growth in nitrate use, which in itself is a direct consequence of the intensive farming and export-driven model that we have forced our farmers into. It's time that we move beyond the platitudes on the biodiversity crisis and accept it that food vision and other related plans from the Department of Agriculture have left our farming community largely struggling to survive, have benefited only a tiny minority involved in intensive farming and export, and it has left us bare in terms of nature and biodiversity. We cannot separate the agricultural model that we have in this country from the biodiversity crisis and collapse that we are overseeing. When, Taoiseach, will this change? And when will the platitudes on biodiversity end?
The Deputy Smith talked about a nature-depleted planet, which I don't disagree with. I would say that we do have to focus more strongly on the quality of our rivers and marine and estuaries and ocean waters. Again, the food vision is endeavouring to balance food production and the need for food production with the environmental sustainability. And that is the objective, and there was widespread consultation. Not everybody agreed with the outcome. I acknowledge that through the Chair. Not everybody agreed through the Chair on that. And it was only announced about a year ago, so it has some distance to go yet in respect of its objectives. And in terms of the citizens' assemblies, I happen to think they shared, to Deputy MacDonald's point, I think the shared initiative in terms of the dialogue series is there as a far more effective way of building reconciliation, building mutual trust, working with people on the ground, engaging in dialogue across the board on issues such as climate, which we've created, a climate and biodiversity network has been created on the island. A lot of research networks have been created on the island, and the All-Island Women's Forum has been collected. I was at a group on Monday with Chris involving communities involved in education at the interface areas in Belfast, from preschool to primary school to secondary school. That's the type of understanding and dialogue we need to build up on the island, and that's the approach I favour in respect of that. And I think the next two citizens' assemblies will be on drugs.